hear him. So anyway, guys, good evening. This is Vijetha here. This is the League of Extraordinary Startups, episode 31. So we have Ishu from TruckSuvidha.
Yes,
Ishu, are you able to hear me now?
yes, I can hear you now.
Yeah, great, fantastic. So great Issue. Let's kickstart right away. All right.
Yeah, sure. Yep.
Yeah. So I was just telling everyone this is the League of Extraordinary Startups. First January. Happy New Year to every single one of you out here who's watching us. And it's 5:35. So in interest of time, Issue is going to be talking a little bit about TruckSuvidha, and then some very interesting inputs about growth, sales, and just getting the company rolling. So Issue, are you ready to start your screen share?
Yes,
Talk
yes,
about
yes.
TruckSuvidha right now. Yeah, please go
I'm
ahead.
I'm I'm good to go.
Yeah,
So
good
thank
to
you,
go.
thank you,
Oh, let's
Vijetha,
crack.
for
Let's
giving
rock
me
it.
the opportunity. Thanks, TiE, for giving me the opportunity to present today onto the first day of the year. So let's talk about TruckSuvidha first, like what we have done, where we started, and now where we are now. So we are a completely marketplace model for the trucking industry, where people can come and book trucks online. So we are building a digital infrastructure for logistics industry, where people can come, they can have a real-time location tracking of the trucks, they can have GPS, they can have Fastag from our platform itself. It's quite simple. Anyone who is looking for a truck, they can come online, they can just book the trucks online, they can identify the real-time location, what kind of truck is moving from which place to which place. Similarly, it's very helpful for the truck drivers and the fleet owners and the transporters over there into the market. They just can post their truck online, which is feasible for them in case they are looking for any kind of retail loads from any part of the industry. So TruckSuvidha is started by me and Mr. Amit Punani. It was started back in November 2015 when we started with two of us, and now we are a company of more than 56 people working day and night with us, and like reaching to the newer heights on daily basis. So if we talk about like the growth, what we have done in these 5 years, we have more than 40,000 transporters registered with us till now. So we are doing around more than 12,000 bookings in a week. If we talk about then somewhere around more than 200,000 trucks have been booked so far onto the platform, and all these are the organic growth which we have done so far. So TruckSuvidha is currently present all across the country. We have more than 4,800 GPS enabled vehicles. If we talk about, we have more than 2,000 agents on ground who are working with us all across the country. Then again, we have 350,000 trucks with us into the network who are using our service on daily basis. So this is a typical roadmap looks like, where we are standing in terms of to the location all across the country. I believe which covers most of the country itself. So it's a basic background which looks about the website which we give for the trucks and transporters. We help them into their digital presence as well. So any of the truckers or transporters who do not understand technology, who do not understand what kind of digital things they can use to promote their business, they can utilize TruckSuvidha and reach to the newer heights for their business.
Interesting issue. So
So
this is like a lot of growth in last 4 years, huh? This is very, very fast growth.
It's quite good, but not as per our expectations. What we have expected to reach the company in these 5 years, though there were some policy changes which comes from the government side. But yes, those changes were into the positive side. But yes, it's really good.
Fantastic. And how big is your team now, Ishu? How many people do you employ?
So we are 56 people right now, and currently we are hiring, adding more people into the network. So
Awesome.
currently we are present in more than 5 cities, including Yamunanagar, Ghaziabad, Gondia, Indore, Barodara, and Hyderabad. So we are
Interesting.
also looking for the expansion into different cities, starting to hire into different roles, which is into HR. Then technology people we are hiring. Apart from that, operations also we are
Okay,
hiring.
okay. Very nice, very nice. Ishu, I want to now talk to you about certain specifics. Okay, when we were having our conversation today, also,
Uh,
you mentioned something about customers who have become investors. How did that happen? I'm sure lots of founders would be interested to understand about that part of it.
So basically, what happens? We work with the trucking industry where these transporters are quite good into in terms of to the cash flows and all. So some of the transporters, they understand the whole economics of the business. They completely understand what kind of business it is, and just due to the lack of the what should I say, in terms of education and all, they are not able to start big or something into the digital industry. So we identified certain people from the trucking industry itself who want to do something into this industry, or the next generation wants to do. Because next generation is typically like they do not want to come into the trucking industry because it seems so dirty from outside that people do not want to be the part of this industry. When we present TruckSuvidha to them, they said like this is something which is a future of India, which can bring the trucking business to the newer heights, and it seems lucrative to them. Where we thrown some plans to them, instead of going for a month or 6 months, if they are going to be associated with us for the lifetime for a certain amount, then they will be getting hefty discounts and additional prices as well. In terms of that, sometimes few of the, I would say, largest unions, truck unions, presidents and all, they come as an investor onboarded with us and become lifetime customers. And few of the union presidents also become as an advisor to TruckSuvidha, where they uh, helped us or they guided us into different roadblocks where we face during the truck, like our whole journey.
So you got a lot of support from these people.
So, like this is something TruckSuvidha is what we are doing is for the whole trucking ecosystem itself, and the support from the trucking ecosystem is remarkable. What kind of love they have given to the company, and they are showering on daily basis for to us. So if we talk about most of the companies who work into this domain, they either come to eat up or eat a pie of the truckers business. But here, TruckSuvidha comes like to boost the business of or to boost the economy of the existing trucking players into the market. So they understand the vision, they understand the mission of the company, at what level we are starting. So that's why they support us a lot.
Interesting, very interesting. And that's something very important, I think, that we have to remember here is it was also about building trust, goodwill, and a very powerful relationship over the last few years, isn't it?
Yes, yes. So even like trucking business is a kind of business which is totally dependent on to the trust and the relationships which matters between the truckers and the industries. And any of the player, like whether it's a fleet owner or transporter, broker, even a like truck driver as well, everyone holds so much responsibility on their shoulders while they are moving their goods of industry. Too much of amount they are moving, too much of responsibility they are taking from one place to another place. So trust is one of the most important factor into this segment.
Okay, very interesting. So one more question that I have for you, right? So you have been talking
Mm.
about grants and public-private, collaboration with government and industries, etc. So in the last few years, can you give us very specifically how did you work towards grants and how did you work with this the PPP that you have been talking about?
So trucking industry is again a very interesting model for all across the country. Whatever we are eating, whatever we are wearing on daily basis, everything is coming through trucks only. Similarly, there are a lot of PSUs who use trucking on daily basis for their movement and for the movement of their products or either of the raw materials and all. So we suggested the trucking platform, the concept of TruckSuvidha, and discussed with a few of PSUs, and suggested them like if they invest into our business, it can be of great value for their business as well. Apart from business, it can be a great value for the whole economy as well. It can be a part of their CSR segment also. While discussing the same with one of the directors with Gail, they find it really interesting and they asked us to pitch the whole concept into the front of the whole board. And while we pitched the whole platform, so everyone find it really interesting. Though this is not the direct segment for Gail to invest in, but they one of the segment of Gail uses lot of trucking, like the polymer segment, where they have to track trucks and everyone was facing a huge problem in terms of tracking of the truck or identifying the trucks from the market on real time basis. So they were able to relate the whole problem. And while they see like TruckSuvidha is solving the problem and we have done and achieved the remarkable point into the segment also, they identified it as a good opportunity back in 2018. and they invested a good amount in the company and supported us at various levels. Apart from that, if we talk about supports from the institutes like IITs and all, that is also a very remarkable thing which currently we are getting even into the COVID as well. We helped government during the March, April, last early days of April, May and June, the freight rates were shoot up to a very highest level. There we again partnered with central ministry and helped them in like bringing down the prices of daily vegetables movement. So that was again a very really interesting partnership with the government. What we have done during the COVID pandemic thing, and which helped on real time basis to the whole people. Apart from that, one more model which is quite interesting in terms of government, which is not very fancy to the startup world, is the PPP model, where government participates and or invites private partners to commercialize the technology, where they support as a backend, and sometimes they also support into the in terms of monetary benefits as well. So in the similar way, we have partnered with CSIR CRRI. They are CRRI Central Road Research Institute. They are responsible for any kind of research which is being done onto the national highways and the road network of India, any kind of roads or anything which is being after the approval of CRRI only. So
Interesting.
we partnered with them for a segment where we are connecting fleet owner directly with the farmers. So these two again are the one of the roots of the whole country, whole economy, where farmer needs to move the crops to the mandis and all, and they can directly book a truck from the platform where the scientists, senior scientists, and their expertise comes lot of handy to us. Miss Farad Azad from CRRI, Dr. Satish Chandra also helped us a lot during this whole process of PPP model for us.
This is very interesting, right? Because I know some of the things that you mentioned, right? The farmers, the truck drivers, the academia, the PSUs. There's such a
Mm.
huge ecosystem that founders must explore. I think you should. That's what the clear message that is coming out from you.
Yes, yes, yes. Like most of the founders generally go just after the funding, which is very fancy into the startup world. But these government organizations, yes, it's a tricky to explore, but yes, it is really good to explore these opportunities.
Understood. Yeah, yeah. So I think even agri-tech startup should also look at this. Anyone in trucking, logistics, supply chain must explore this. Very nice insights, Issue. Thank you so much for this.
Yes.
And now, yeah, it's just slightly switching gears now, right? I mean, I know that in the first few months of the lockdown and when the pandemic was spreading, obviously trucking had come to a standstill and there were a lot of challenges. What did you face up to in the first few months of the lockdown, and what did you do in the last 6 months to grow? What are the
So
steps you've taken?
So initially, it was really a very tremendous situation where like the lockdown was there. Every truck was still wherever it was. So once the lockdown was announced, every truck was facing a problem. A lot of trucks were in transit, and they were carrying agri goods as well. And at that time, if you remember, there were some rainfall into few part of the countries as well. So we got some calls from truck drivers who were associated with us, like we have this much material loaded with us onto the trucks, and if it is going to be like rain is there, and this is going to be spoiled by rainwater if we are just stuck over here. So for that particular purpose, we thought like why not to build something for these truck drivers at least who are stuck into the roadways and they are not able to come back to their hometowns or home locations. At that time, very quickly we take a decision along with the startup, few people of Startup India, and we connected with them and started a helpline for these truck drivers where they just have to dial the number, and in case they are facing any kind of problem in terms of to the approvals, in terms of to the movement of vehicle, or if they are facing any other issues in terms of movement, the decisions were really quick. Every secretaries and everyone was just a message away on WhatsApp or just a mail away. So at that time government also worked really fast, and this helped in building a very or nurturing our relationship with our existing users, existing truck drivers who were into the network and the transporters as well. So this was the start of the pandemic to start a new feather into the cap. Similarly, at that time, we thought like these farmers and all also facing a lot of problem. And at that time, government was also planning to launch a platform for farmers. So they connected with us. They said like you are helping truck drivers at a root level. Why not you help farmers as well and help them in getting the trucks just by the way you were doing a phone call for truck drivers. So they launched their platform. They asked us to integrate the backend with TruckSuvidha. So anyone who is looking for a truck, any farmer who is looking for a truck, they can just come online. They can just dial a number and
Awesome,
get
awesome.
the truck.
Very interesting. Very interesting. Very interesting. So, have you got any more slides to show, Issue? Because I just thought maybe you can, if you're done with your presentations, yeah, we can move. Yeah, you can come out of this now.
So
Okay. And
apart from
anything, market, you want to talk about this? Yeah.
Yeah. So apart from where like everyone was working from home these days, and like this was the scenario where we thought like automation can create a lot of impact, where we just use the machines to work for us, and the communication can be directly done to automation. So we created multiple RPAs on different platforms, WhatsApp, LinkedIn, and all, so that any of the communication which is being done, it is done through the RPAs only. Like everything, it's happening on its own. So on this also, WhatsApp written a story about TruckSuvidha onto their platform, where they covered like how we help truck drivers and transporters to connect with the WhatsApp platform. And any of the messages which is being done, being floated, it is directly being floated with the help of automation. Just a single click, information is fed into the system, and everything was happening on its own. So this helped us a lot, even in terms of while we were working in silos and everyone was at home.
Interesting, interesting. So no regrets, Issue, because I know that you had a very interesting and very, very good career.
So yes, regrets were there. Like a lot of like while we started our journey, uh, we were into the initial days back in 2014 and 15. We were just researching, like doing a lot of surveys into the market, how it is going on. Then in 2015, we just started making the revenues, and then suddenly demonetization came up. And while trucking community started knowing about digitization into the trucking, suddenly they said ki, like most of the things works onto the cash economy into trucking industry. And while money was out of everywhere, and they were like, "Ki, how to who transact, or we do not have money to pay." And so that was one of the serious fallback at that time. Then still things moved up, things were into our growing side only, and we cope up with that particular situation. Industry also supported us for a long time. Later on, next year again there were GST, so e-way bill again created too much chaos into the initial days. Transporters were afraid like how to create e-way bills in terms of the part load and the full truck load kind of scenario. So there were really a lot of ups and downs, but consistency and persistence is one of the key which keep us moving, which keep us running, and helped us in growing the company till now.
Awesome. Very interesting. Very interesting. So no regrets, in other words, right, Issue?
So if I'm going to look out onto the negative side, yes, there are a lot, but the thing is like just to look onto the positive side and keep going and keep
Yes,
growing.
yes. Okay, Issue. Is there any other slides that you want to show, Issue? Are you
No,
or you done? Yeah.
slides are good to go. We
Okay.
can
Okay.
talk onto the things and
Yeah,
all.
yeah. So yeah, just come out, stop this share so we can see your face fully now. Okay.
Yeah, sure.
Yes. Yeah, perfect, perfect. So then, Ishu, I want to talk to you about the importance of mentors and coaches. Right? You have been in this business for 5 years. You have someone who's very experienced working with you as a co-founder. You have a big team of 50 people. You have people who are from the PSU, the government, academia, very good backers. But
Hmm.
during these tough times, did
Hmm.
you reach out to some mentors and coaches and advisors? And what are the discussions that you are having?
So yes, every time, like in terms of life of an entrepreneur, you have to there are a lot of ups and downs. Even sometimes family always says like, we do not understand your business, what you are doing, you're not making money. So sometimes these things create a lot of disheartened kind of situation where we are unable to make them understand what is happening. So we were incubated at BIMTech, where the mentors over there, Dr. Abha Rishi, Chitransh, helped us a lot in terms of connecting with the industry players. Even a few of the very veterans into the industry who are big logistics player directors and all, they helped us a lot. In terms of the discussion, yes, most of the time we generally discuss about like the real time problems which we are facing, and we discuss about the experiences, what kind of experiences they had in their past, so that I can learn from their expenses and bring my team back in case if we are stuck somewhere. So that's the most of the times I love to understand their experience and how they tackle up the situation whenever they are stuck.
Interesting, interesting. And it's such an important thing to have some kind of fallback, isn't it? I mean, family is there, but as support, there is also pressure. कि As you
Hmm.
said, भाई क्या कर रहा है, पैसा कमा रहा है कि नहीं? Oh
So
God,
even
that's
like there is lot of things. Sometimes my mom says, even my wife says, तुमसे बात करने के लिए तो appointment लेना पड़ेगा. Kind of
oh
situation is always there.
yes,
I
yes.
leave home early, sometimes 7 to 8, and this is the kind of scenario for 2 to 3 months. And I was coming back 9, 10, sometimes 11 or 12 as well. So
Okay, okay.
like before they are up into the morning, I was leaving home, and after they slept, I was just coming. So they were
My
like, "भाई तुम घर में रहते ही क्यों?" Kind
God.
of scenario
I
was
know,
there.
I know. But it is out of love and concern that they are asking you this question. So it's okay, man. Just you got to do your best. So, Ishu, so as someone who's been in this business for 5 years, okay,
Hmm,
you get to talk to a lot of startups and founders, students, entrepreneurs. And I'm sure you're active in the ecosystem doing a lot of things, right?
hmm.
And I got connected to you thanks to someone like like Rohit from
Yes.
Innovate. So
Hmm,
I'm sure that there's a lot of deeper connections. You're working with academias, you're giving back, you're trying to mentor a few other youngsters also.
hmm,
So what
hmm.
are you doing about that? What do they talk about? Would love to know about
So, like, there are a lot of things I've learned during these past 5 years. I came from a normal college, not a very fancy IIT. I am kind of tag I was having. That doesn't matter. I really say to everyone who is listening or who might listen this to the later stage. The main thing is like, you just believe in yourself and you can do achieve anything. I help a lot of startups. They always come up with a thing like, हमारा background नहीं है, we do not know technology, how to do something. Technology इतनी जल्दी change हो रही है. What we can do in those particular scenarios. So just one thing to say, like, being a promoter, being a founder of a company, you are a problem solver. Whenever the team is stuck, you have to bring them out of the problem. That is one of the major thing that we have to do as a startup promoter.
that?
Apart from that, there are a lot of problems which generally startups face in terms of the marketing, like to identify the target audience where we can find our users. Internet is such a vast ocean. Wherever we want to find anyone, we can find. So everything is there for free. We bootstrap the company for so long that we are able to cope up with a lot of startups who are like heavily funded into the this whole trucking ecosystem. If I'm talking about, still we are able to bring a like create a mark into the whole ecosystem and create a presence of the whole brand TruckSuvidha. Even like lot of transporters and truck drivers know about TruckSuvidha brand. So that is something what we have done into the past. Apart from that, I created a lot of relationships with the startups. I helped a lot of coach program, like initial ideation phase startups or student entrepreneurs who are either into their college or who are like willing to start something.
Hmm.
So I mentored somewhere around mentored altogether more than 73 startups till now,
Wow.
and adopted one college which is in Meerut with a group of college where we dedicatedly open a entrepreneurship cell for them, where we help a lot of students who are willing to start something into future.
Okay. Interesting. Very interesting. Okay. Okay. There's some inputs that is coming in from various people. All right. See,
Hmm.
what do you think are the in the next 6 months? Okay, 2021, 1st January, we're here.
Hmm.
Like, I mean, touch wood, the political climate is there, the pandemic is there, whatever is there. But what are the challenges that you see over the next 6 months which might impact you? And if you have thought about it with your founding team and core team, what are you all doing to prepare yourself to handle any kind of situations that could arise?
So basically, we talk about the trucking industry specifically in terms of to the challenging situation. The main thing is like the mindset of the people is still going towards like technology is going to eat the business. Like as e-way bill comes, before that, few other changes were there. So everyone is afraid in terms of trucking industry. Like if the platforms like us are prominent, they might lose the business. So this is something education gap between the promoter of a transporter or a fleet owner or a truck driver. Like we are here to help them to increase their business, to increase their profit margins. We are not here to eat up their business. So that is what we have done for a lot of transporters, even for the industries as well. Though industry has to pay less, but in the end fleet owner is earning more money what he was earning earlier. The truck which was sitting idle for 15 to 16 days, now it is running for more than 25 days in a month. So that kind of efficiency has been increased. वो बोलते हैं ना, ट्रकिंग इंडस्ट्री में अगर ट्रक चलेगा तभी काम होगा, खाली गाड़ी खड़े होने से कोई फायदा नहीं. सो दैट इज द काइंड ऑफ सेगमेंट व्हाट वी आर creating. Like a moving truck is better than a still truck. So that is something we are creating. In terms of if we talk about political, yes, there are challenges which will come, which are there, which we can see in terms of again a regulation which is passed, activated from today itself in terms of Fastag. So there is a lot of pressure from vehicles like they need to be get Fastag enabled, but still supply is not there, not into the abundance from backend. But these are the like challenges which can be overcome by adding up more inventories and other things into the system.
Understood, understood. Very nice issue. And also, listen, it's really nice what you're doing for the student community and young entrepreneurs. I will reach out to you separately. Anything that I could do,
Definitely,
we could have some sessions with these youngsters, and happy to whatever little bit I can do here and there. There are other wonderful startups that are also founders who have got a lot of experience. Any help that we can give through you, okay? I will through you
definitely,
with
definitely,
youngsters. Happy to do that for you, right?
definitely,
And thank
definitely.
you once again. That's awesome. Right now, so visually it is now 6 o'clock. Okay, we have been talking for half an hour. Time has just flown. So some of the other talking points that I wanted to talk, like as a founder, and you
Mhm.
have to manage a team in different locations, etc. Productivity tools and keeping the team spirit high. Okay, how
Mhm.
do you manage that?
So this is really interesting thing what you have to do. Like even this in a chilling weather, the team is just coming at 9 o'clock, and even if you are not into the office, everyone is working till late and doing everything onto the with the utmost focus. So these are really interesting things that we do. There are multiple point systems which we have put up. So this is one interesting thing what we have created for operations team. I would like to share with everyone. So, in terms of being managers who are managing the team, we have mobile phones who are managing the team. No manager on top of anyone. So
Okay,
it's just the application. It's you are managing yourself onto the team. If you are working, that phone is rating you every time. If you are not working, phone is saying that man, you are not working. You have to work. You have to go fast. You have to like complete these tasks. So that every time the person is just being managed by the machine itself. So no grudges between the team. Team is like team bonding is increasing a lot. Earlier sometimes it happens like team leader is managing the team, then sometimes they face grudges and like किसी ने किसी को कुछ कह दिया, तो they always kind of conflict management and other things are required. So this creates a really good efficiency thing for them. Apart from that, the startup culture is the way we have created into the whole company. Everyone is a friend, and there is no limits. Like if a person has started from yesterday itself, and if he has a suggestion, then he can also share, and those suggestions are listened by the whole board if it is good. So that is the kind of responsibility we have given to everyone. If you have something, you can come ahead. There are people who we hired them as a trainee, and within a year they just got us got some ESOPs of the companies as well, because they were like very open to share their views. They are open to share the growth into the growth of the company. So these things keep the spirits high of the all the team members. In terms of the productivity tools which you mentioned, like how we are doing and how we are managing in terms of the remote teams, different offices. So we have everything centralized, where we use majorly free tools to manage the system. Again, there are very various tools. So Mantis we use uh, Canboard, which is one of the very really good tool which can be utilized. Again, free model, which can be utilized.
Issue, which is that just can you type it later on? Can if you don't mind, as you
Hmm.
continue the conversation, just put some of the links and information on the chat so that the audiences and other people also can take advantage of it. Okay.
Sure, sure, sure. I will do that.
Yeah, because there's a lot of things that I want to keep asking you. So we talked about productivity, we talked about how you keep the team going, and also how do you keep yourself going? Issue with all these challenges, right? Mentally, physically, long hours, some bleak periods that okay, am I doing the right thing? Why did I give up my corporate career? All those doubts. So, as a founder, how do you physically, mentally, spiritually, what is it that you think you should be doing better? And any advice that you have for the other founders?
So yes, there are a lot of times it happens while we see while I personally see onto the Facebook and like my social network, where the people who started graduation, or they have earned something, a big name, or they have taken up some big cars and all, and while I'm not doing something like that. So the best thing, and when I meet or with the team, or when I take a team meeting, the thing which keeps me growing is the uh, enthu in my team itself. And sometimes I personally do a feedback call with few of the transporters and the truck drivers who are using our service. और जब वो बोलते हैं ना कि सर आपकी सर्विस से हमारा कमाई बढ़ गई, that is the kind of motivation level which keeps me growing. So earlier, if a truck driver was having a salary of 9,000 rupees and he said that, sir, due to TruckSuvidha, I got an increase or a handsome raise into the salary, which is somewhere around, uh, like in some cases, it is 50 to 60% as well, for some reason. So that is the kind of thing which keeps me like कि हाँ कुछ तो मैं सही कर रहा हूँ, and I am doing right thing for the whole community. This is one apart from that physical thing which I regularly do, which is a must to do if these are long hours are there. Because once I leave the office home, then I'm like always sitting for the whole day itself onto the same chair.
Hmm.
So that is physical daily exercise I do, and I also do a meditation session on daily basis. So that's
Okay,
a must to
interesting.
do for me.
Fantastic, fantastic. One of our one of the when I keep doing these interviews and chats, right? Something that some of these founders do, they do something called gratitude meditation.
Okay.
Okay,
Yeah.
so it's like see, like however tough life is, there is lots to be thankful for.
Hmm, hmm, hmm,
Okay,
hmm,
and
hmm.
you do this gratitude meditation where you thank during the day and
Uh,
beginning and end. Just few
uh,
minutes where you appreciate the good that is still there with you. The food is on the table. You have a home. You have
uh,
a loving family.
uh,
You have
uh,
a team that is inspired and etc. etc.
uh, uh.
Okay, so that's also something that I think a lot of us should practice more and
Yes,
talk about
yes,
it.
yes. Giving
Okay, I
back to the
think
society again creates a lot of positive insights whenever we are doing. So even I do a lot of sessions with the startup founders, and well, I am giving them what I have learned so far. It creates a lot of positive insights within me itself. Like I'm at least giving back to someone. I'm giving something so that they can utilize into their lives. Where I I stuck or I struggled, they are not going to be uh, like waste their own time.
correct, correct. No, that's very interesting. Yeah, Rishu, and don't stop doing this, right? Even whatever happens, you should not stop.
No, definitely. Like whatever happens, this is something which always helps a lot.
Yeah.
Like no, nothing required in return. Everything just for the society. What we have learned, what we are doing, just giving back to them.
Okay. So are you looking at raising? I know you talked about hiring, right? And I wanted to just post something on the chat as well
Hmm.
as to how they can apply. I think that's important. I think your LinkedIn as well has got a very beautiful picture of you saying hiring. So so that's a good thing. But also, issue, are you looking to raise more funds or are you kind of right now you are sticking to what you have and focusing on customers and organic growth? What is your story right now?
So organic growth is definitely we are doing. So I believe last year was too much bad due to the COVID and pandemic for everyone. But I would say it was really great for us as an organization. Yes, we are looking to raise funds as well from external investors, where we will be able to grow the company in a very fast mode. So that is something, yes, it's required.
Amazing, amazing. That's really wonderful. And let me also take this opportunity to say thank you and good luck with that. Okay, because you're doing great work. Okay, there is a question here. How can we increase the opportunity to get the sponsorship for any project? If you're
So
sponsorship or support or whatever, right? What are the things that you're supposed to do?
so So basically, if we talk about the sponsorship, definitely just identify the amount what you're looking, and what I believe is people are really good into the market. Just identify the leaders from your industry and just write them a note. And I would say out of 10 people, at least three will reply. And out of those three, you have to just convert them. You just need a one person to sponsor your project. That's the only thing you need. And there are a lot of industry players. You can identify companies, identify their balance sheets, identify the directors, promoters of the companies. Just write to them.
Hmm.
I believe most of the people will revert to you, and you will
Okay.
get that. So even we there's a thing while I was facing problem with the lot of largest trucking unions. So I write to a lot of industry players, their directors and all. And luckily, I was lucky enough. I wrote 100 letters, 110 letters altogether, and I got 90 replies.
Okay.
And it was a written reply. Everything was sent through speed post and all. And few of them were from government departments as well.
Wow. That's a very interesting. When you said speed post and everything, I'm like, okay. So there is a world beyond internet and emails and everything, isn't it?
So
Awesome.
sometimes it happens like when you give something into the way जो एक tradition तरीका है, so it
Ah,
creates a impact into the market itself. So
correct. Correct.
mail is everyone writing email to the user or a person, and while you give them a personal touch, you send them something which is addressing them. It really matters a lot to them.
Understood. Understood. Hey, listen, Ishu, this is Jagat, by the way. We are on his platform, Vidphone, and he's also been a startup founder for many years. And he's a hustler, a sales guy, a technology person. I know him from the time that I was in NASCOM Center of Excellence. He's also a member of TiE Bangalore. So, hi, Jagat. Thanks for joining in.
My pleasure. And at the outset, wish you a very, very happy New Year to
Hi
both
Jagat.
Ishu and to Vijetha. Very, very happy New Year.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Jagat.
Hi
That's
Jagat.
nice stuff.
Thank you. Thank you, Jagat. Thank you. Thanks for letting us to use your platform, and wish you a very, very happy New Year.
Likewise, Ishu. Pleasure to have you on our platform. I was just hearing the conversation also. It's a wonderful story.
Thank you.
May 2021 give you a lot of success.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So I think
you too.
I'll just tell you this, like issue. Even Jagat, when he was at NASCOM, and even now,
Uh,
of course, he has to hustle. He has to make sales. He has to get customers to pay to use Vidphone. But he's also
uh,
been very much involved in building the community and trying to see what we can do for the ecosystem. And
hmm.
I think Jagat, there is a lot of learnings. I'm sure you would have gotten from Ishu as well. The way that he's giving back, paying it forward, interacting with PSUs, interacting with government, and mentoring other startups. So maybe some of these things, as we build communities and as both of you guys build your phenomenal organizations to go 10x, 100x growth, there's so much that you can talk about and discuss. So I just love to have you both exchanging some viewpoints.
No, absolutely. I think really nice to hear about the 100 odd letters that he wrote and got 90 responses. That's a very good strike rate. 90 out of 100. Well, I don't know what you're writing. I think you some special pen you're using or a special keyboard for typing. But really, just wanted to know from you, how has been this year, and what's the plan last year, and Issue. I hope you have some really interesting plans for this year, for 2021.
So this year is more about like scale. So apart due to the pandemic, we were not doing much, but this year we have almost in a plan to double our workforce. So we are already on a spree to hire in every department, every different levels as well. I believe by March we will be able to double our team size as well. and multiple cities will be covering. So already we cover majorly all cities, even cities borders like Nepal. We are also present over there. So recently I got a call from one of my senior who is residing at Nepal border. He said, इशू तेरी कंपनी का नाम सर्वोदय है ना? मैं कहा हाँ, क्या हुआ? तो कह यार लाउड स्पीकर पे समवन वाज सेइंग कि सर्वोदय इन्फोटेक की फ्रेंचाइजी ले लो एंड मैं कहा आई एम नॉट श्योर हु वाज लाइक डूइंग दिस एडवर्टाइजमेंट बट दिस इज नॉट फ्रॉम आवर साइड माइट बी सम ऑफ द agent is doing so we have got a agent network of more than 5,000 people working on ground every time with us, so we will be able to bring this again double the numbers is the thought process to do.
Outstanding, really outstanding.
So one more thing, resolution I've also added into this year. So I have to double the number in terms of to the mentoring startups as well. So I have to touch base around 200 startup founders this year for the whole year itself. So that I believe at least I will give something back to the society.
Wow, that's an amazing ambition to have, boss. I'm impressed, very impressed. 200. And I mean, wow, that's I'm kind of stunned, right? Wow, that's a lot of man. That's a lot big number. So Jagat, we have a big. Yeah, I'm not competition, but we have to see how we can help him also, maybe.
No, I was just, there's no competition at all. I don't live. I live in a parallel universe. I think Vijetha knows I have no competition in this world in video conferencing. So anyway, what I was saying, Ishu, I mean, I'd be happy to discuss with you probably, first week of Jan, later. Let us see if we can join forces. See, because we have a lot of similar kind of mission. And I think instead of all of us doing, in our own ways, let us see if we can, if there's something, right? You can use the Bitphone platform. I could provision maybe some kind of a series where you could look at the mentoring. I mean, just an thought here. And of course, anything in terms of technology, because I'm always a tech freak, and to me, like in trucking, I mean, industry that you are in, Issue. What do you think? I mean, like if I ask you something that is really, and don't try and it's not about giving a political answer or something that's even possible today, right? Like, what do you think is the most like disruptive technology that you think will come in your industry in probably this year, next year?
So if we talk about like automation is the thing that is going to change a lot of things altogether into the trucking industry. Even like the major problem is like basics are even not covered into the trucking industry. There are a lot of problems at ground levels. So first of all, that needs to be resolved. Whatever it is coming, whether driverless truck and everything, it's really too fancy to hear. But India ke hal mein, that is something which is not required. So a lot of things which are at ground level that needs to be resolved first. Apart from that, the industries who have evolved so far, automation is one thing which is going to be a game changer this year at least. So people started understanding, yes, technology is going to be the game changer. Android mobile applications, this is going to be there. But what else on top of it? ठीक है, truck मिल गया, truck हो गया. What else? Like I'm just emptying the vehicle. I'm just coming outside empty out of a APMC Monday, basically. Like I'm just dropping the food grains into a Monday. I'm just emptying my truck. I'm way bridge पे खड़ा करा, वहीं पे ही truck मिलना चाहिए. So this kind of automation should be there, which is going to come back. So like no driver dependency, no fleet owner dependency. As soon as I'm empty, my truck is empty, it should be booked by some of the nearby player. So that is
maximum occupancy, less turnaround time.
Yes, that is going to be improved a lot using this. Even driver utilization, vehicle utilization is something which is going to be improvised. Most of the companies, Ishu, Tata, Mahindra, they are like just trying to understand कि कैसे करना है, but no one is like कि पहले basic problems सही कर लो, फिर then all these things will be changed.
So definitely, I think to learn some interesting lessons to learn from the taxi industry, right? I mean, Ola and Uber probably.
So kind of similar. Something main problem here into the trucking is like we have a goods to carry. So there is no decision maker. In terms of taxi, the owner is just driving the taxi. That is one of the real advantage of that versus the trucking industry. So decision maker is always sitting ahead of the loading location. So that's one of the major differences.
I think one thing you can look at is a kind of video chat, video solution where the driver, the owner, and probably at your end, you have some kind of a three-way, right? Where that kind of check maybe is happening. I mean, I just top of my head just had some thoughts. Maybe video would be a really useful thing where you have a live video kind of check on what's in the truck, who's driving, etc., etc. Those could be kind of interesting avenues, right? Because I think it's a very it's a market where there is limited kind of technology disruption, right? There's not, because of the drivers, of course, are blue collared, and not even taxi drivers, right? Taxi drivers at least say that, okay, maybe in 6 months they are, they get familiar with the app. But the
So
truck driver, I don't.
even the taxi drivers were earlier into the same level, but the way the education and everything has been, like the training which has been done by the taxi apps, that is
Yeah.
really remarkable into their education. The way they have changed the way of their talking and greeting with the passenger when he's entering. So that is really good. And even these things, what we have seen into the trucking industry as well. Earlier, while we were talking with truck drivers and all, they were saying like, क्या mobile application क्या truck book करेगी? So that was the thought they were having. And these days, when we discuss or any of the executive get in touch with the fleet owner, they always say, I want to learn. Make me learn how to use the application. अगर मुझे book करना है तो what I have to. So this kind of change is already coming. Everyone is ready to learn. So I believe, yes, in future they will also take this thing. Although language is something which is a kind of barrier into our industry. They use different kind of language, but still, yes, they are changing at least.
I think
They're
absolutely.
improvising.
In fact, I was discussing this yesterday with, I think, Vijetha, one of the sessions. If you look at today, a Ola or a Uber driver, he will qualify as a knowledge worker today. He's not a taxi driver. He's a knowledge worker actually, because he's completely, on the internet. So that's such an amazing shift. If you see, like a normal blue collared, I would say almost taxi driving, almost a blue collared, semi white collared job. And today, because of Ola and Uber, those guys have become almost white collared employees, almost knowledge workers.
Yes.
And that is huge. And that reflects in the salary. See, previously, the salary of a driver, maybe 10 years back, 7 years back, 10, 15,000 rupees per month, right? 20,000 a month. But we all know what the Ola and Uber guys were earning some time back, right? They're earning 1 lakh a month.
Yes.
And that, I think, is the magic, right? When we can provide technology to that last mile, blue collared guy, unorganized, and the just holding the phone with him, that itself makes him, changes his profile, from being a blue collared guy to a white collared guy, right?
Yes.
He's getting real time, where is the pickup, where is the drop? He become an information worker. And there his salary can double, and productivity can double. Really interesting. I think a very nice business you're in. I have a couple of friends also who are in the similar kind of space. But I think, the more the better, right? I think there's so much of
unorganized. It's really good to have. Even we support few of the startups who are already planning to do so. So sometimes people come as we want to start into the trucking industry, whether we should do or not. So what we have seen, like if you are going to start the same business into the line, most of the founders say कि भाई एक और threat खड़ा हो जाएगा. Why to advise them? But I always advise कि do start. More the players, more the healthy competition, more it is good. So it's really going to improvise the industry.
Correct.
Healthy competition is always good. So Sonu has a question like, if the person is going to develop their own project. So Sonu, this happens with us into the early stage while we started TruckSuvidha. So we were in talks with one of the investor who was really interested. These are the two cases I'm going to share. We were in talk with one of the investor who was really interested in investing in TruckSuvidha model, and the talks were at a very advanced level. So it was just we were waiting for the term sheet, and it was about to be signed. And suddenly we saw, like after discussing lot of things, lot of insights, vanilla points with them, we suddenly saw a news like that investor invested into some of the similar company, and much more amount that we were asking for. So that was something disheartening at that point of time, but we keep continuing what we were doing, and we at the same pace and with the same level of dedication. What we have seen after 1.5 years, so that company which they have invested in, they bleeded heavily, and they just shut down. They have to shut down basically their business. And this happens because what I believe, someone can steal your idea, but they cannot steal the way you are going to implement the idea. Implementation is always with you. The passion is always with you. That passion no one can steal from you. Similarly, one more thing which also happened with me, the same letter writing story. So I shared concept with one of the very big industry player. They identified कि हम क्या कर रहे हैं, कैसे कर रहे हैं, what we are planning to do. We discussed a lot. We had a meeting. They paid for our flights, travel, everything. So after discussing, after I believe 6 or 7 months, we saw like a platform launched by them into the similar space. So it was really interesting. We came to know. We again congratulated them, and again I said personally to him after calling, like, sir, in case you face any problem or any kind of support is required from our side, we will help you a lot. So recently in 2018, they shut down their shops because they were not able to run. The corporate culture was everywhere into their veins. Like company startup को कैसे चलाना है, that is a entirely a different way. We grow company in a entirely different way. Passion is entirely different. The DNA of the employees which we hire is entirely different. We do not hire via degrees. We do not hire via education. We hire with passion, like the people who are able to do anything, कभी भी कुछ भी करने के लिए तैयार है. So that is the thing what we can build, which corporates cannot. That is the major difference between a startup versus a corporate thing. So कोई आपका पैशन नहीं चुरा सकता. That is something you can do. You have to be consistent. You have to be persistent. That's all. अगर ये सोचा कि आज कर रहे हैं कल बंद कर देंगे, so that is something you are not gonna grow. If you are having passion, you want to grow your company, you want to scale it, yes, you can do. That is something we have to believe day in day out.
Yes.
Interesting.
Very
Idea नहीं चुरा सकता.
or what you said actually is very, very important, because it also qualifies a lot of people who start for the right reasons. This starting up is not a good idea. I think if you want to just make quick money in 2 years, I think ये बहुत गलत idea है.
Yes,
I think
yes.
all of us will agree.
Yes,
if you
yes.
want to lose a lot of money, you start up first, most important. But quick money, I think, is definitely not that easy in our industry, right? Unless you have some really big experience and you have some background. But I think generally, entrepreneurs and founders, in fact, one thing I've seen, it's not only even about the product, right? It's about the company, right? There's a lot of difference, and many people get stuck just trying to build a product. It's not about a product. Like if you have a company in place, you will build multiple products.
Yes.
And so that's an institution building, right? So I think that takes 10 years, 15 years, 20 years. The realistic institution building, 10, 15, 20 years minimum, right? If you're lucky. So that I think is what you said, the passion should take you through 10, 15 years. Not just, 1 year later, I'm tired and I can't continue, right? I think that I think you also will kind of understand that. It's true.
So even sometimes this situation happens with us as well. Ki like we are doing or some thing, some mishap happen at the company. Sometimes we always feel ki like kaise kar rahe hain, or this is something not good. So we sleep with that particular thought sometimes, and the day again we start with a very fresh mind, and the problem which was like we slept with, I believe most of the times it got resolved within the dreams itself. And suddenly, when the next day you are waking up, you are waking up with a solution. So it happens a lot with me. That is
Superb.
really something. If you are like passionate about something, these things happen with most of people.
Universe conspiring, jo hota hai. I think if you're that serious about getting something, universe eventually.
Yes.
I don't know when.
Universe works for you.
Universe conspires for you. So
yes.
That's true. Anyway, but fantastic. I'll leave you both gentlemen. Thanks, for giving me the opportunity, Vijetha, for coming in. Ishu, kabhi, let's connect. I think, let's have a call and let's just discuss.
Thank you.
Just general exploratory call, right?
Definitely,
and,
definitely.
Look forward to listening more. A few minutes from both of you. Thanks a lot, Vijetha.
Thank you.
Take care, sir. I'll disconnect the call. Yeah. Thank you.
Bye.
So, Ishu, one question I had to ask you. See, you're a technology person.
Yeah.
Okay. And you have done your college, 5 years, 6 years of this work with corporate, now 5 years. As a founder and as someone who has to be totally clued into the latest technologies, right? You're also, okay, operations, customer calls, investors, team, family, whatever is there. How do you focus on ensuring that you are upgrading your skills and the team skills on technology and then using the technology smartly for your organization? How does one founder go about it?
So the first thing a person or founder company should looks like what they can invest into or what is stable in terms of to the technology, because technology these days is changing very fast. Even every 3 months, the very stable version of a latest technology, they say that last version was unstable. We are launching a new version. So if we are going to go and identify the very latest versions and develop the something onto that, that's really not the right thing to do, what I believe. And if we are going to start something or building a product which is pure tech based thing, we should go for the things into the modularity kind of scenarios where we can add on multiple things irrespective of the framework, irrespective of the technology, irrespective of the things which are being utilized, so that anything which is you want to develop, you can just plug and play into the tech itself. And what I've seen, lot of founders always they have a setback into their mind कि मुझे technology में I'm not very well versed, so I will not be able to start. So this is one of the mindset which holds you always back to start. If you're not good at technology, you can always hire people. You know what to get done. You know how to get the shit done. So that is what you have to do. You have to guide people. You have to promote the company. That's all. You just need to get the product live. Just identify what technology you are. You can. You are the product. You are the heart and brain of the product, and you have to just pass on that particular thing to the technology guy, and he can develop the product for you. And in terms of technology, if you are not able to understand, lot of webinars, lot of education sessions are being done by Microsoft, Google, IBMs of the world. So all these companies are always giving multiple technology things into the market which you can always grab, and they're not always talking about their own products. Even they are always promoting other products as well, even open source products also. So that is always good to take. Or if even someone does not know how to join webinars and all, you just connect with one of the directors or a person who has spent somewhere into 12 or 15 years into the company. They are really good people. They are always ready to help. Well, I always try ask for help. Even uh, I have few people from Google, very very senior people from Google who have spent 25, 30 years in Google, and they respond back to my queries. So they are kind of friends now. So even if sometimes if I write to them, they just reply within 1 or 2 hours. You just have
Interesting.
to
So,
ask. That's all.
yeah, yeah. So that's also a skill, right? To ask. Very nice, very nice. And we're at 6:33, almost at the end of it. What are the books or blogs or something that you personally read to refresh yourself or to get inspiration or new knowledge?
So, frankly speaking, most of the times what I read in terms of books is more related to the spiritual books. Bhagavad Gita is one of the important. I always, whenever I'm in a problematic situation, I always open, and it really gives me a solution every time. So even I have read it multiple times. Still, whenever I'm reading it, I got it from a different mindset, resolution to my problems. Apart from that, I always do read in terms of to the marketing automation. That is one of the very
Okay,
key hobby to me, because I'm
okay,
too lazy to work. I don't want myself to sit in front of the system or doing multiple things. I keep my system up and running. I keep my machine up and running. I have not replied. That is something very tricky to say, but I have not replied to any of the Happy New Year messages today. But I have replied to every message because my phone is doing that for me. So I have automated my phone. So anyone who is wishing me New Year, he's suddenly just getting a New Year reply from my side. So anyone who is writing Happy New Year to me, he is getting a reply back from my side. So
fantastic, man.
these kind
That's
of
what.
automations I keeps on doing even for customer journeys, customer surveys, customer feedback, customer complaints as well. So all these things creates a difference, creates an impact for the customer journey also.
Interesting. I love this. Yeah, really nice, man. Yeah, but staying spiritual is important because you need that positive energy and refreshment you need. Awesome. And I also like the fact that a lot of marketing automation. I think I should take a separate, we'll take a separate session with you where you only talk
Yeah,
about marketing automation. No, seriously.
definitely.
There's so much to learn from you as a mentor and as a as a teacher, as a coach. Fantastic, fantastic. Issue 6:35. I know it's a first January evening, and are you at home by the way? Today, are you at home or where are you?
So I was in the meeting while we have a chat during afternoon, and I just finished off work. So again, I have to rush to office.
Oh
Uh,
God, oh God. So let me not. Okay, any message that you have? 2021 is a new year, a new fresh beginning, and hopefully, lots of great things will happen for everyone who's listening in and our audience. Any message that you have, issue for people?
So yes, keep doing good work. Be positive. Keep smiling. Keep giving back to the society. Just consistent and persistence is the only key to achieve anything. If you are failing, just pivot again. Just build the product, pivot again, and just again go to the market. Pivot again and just go to the market. That's the only thing. Consistency and the persistence is the key to
Awesome,
success.
awesome. Thank you so much, Ishu. And listen, take care of yourself. Be with your family more, little bit more. All of us, I guess we got to do that, and learn a lot from Ishu. And I'm going to be in touch with you as well. All right.
Thank you,
Thank
Vijeta.
you.
Would love to get in touch with you after this as well. And
Of course, we will. All right. And
Happy
I
New
should
Year as
once
well.
again.
Yeah,
Yes, happy New Year to you also, buddy, and to your team, to your family, to all your well wishers, the people that you're working with. Gratitude and thank you, and thank you everyone for coming in here and chatting with us. And we wish you all the best. We have a gentleman called Sinju and Arvind who have just joined us. Guys, we are almost at the end of the session, but we appreciate every single one who comes in, listens in, shares viewpoints. And Ishu, why don't you just give your LinkedIn profile on the chat so anyone wants to get in touch with you,
sure, sure.
right? So, and how to get in touch with you is I think LinkedIn, your website, whatever works best, please do that. And Jagat, if you are in, and Lagan, you guys are all whoever is in, please share your LinkedIn profiles so that people can stay in connect. Okay. I think that's a very important thing. I am of course very easily findable at Vijetha Shastry, and great issue. So listen, do well. You have 50 plus employees. May you employ more people. You have so many families who look into you as support, and inshallah we'll also catch up sometime, buddy. All right. Huh?
Definitely,
Do you
definitely.
travel? I mean, do you need to travel or you kind of manage on your own? How does it work for you?
No, I travel. I personally love traveling. I get in touch for feedbacks, which generally you cannot get on call and all. There is multiple stories on top of it as well. We
Okay.
started with Jaipur. Jaipur
Huh.
was our first city while we started, and this is something in 2019 while I was again for a feedback session in Jaipur. I entered a transporter shop basically, and I asked him कि मेरे को साउथ की गाड़ी चाहिए 5 दिन से I'm unable to find the truck. So generally these guys work for a particular lane. So I read the board of the transporter. He just work for the northern part of the country. So I deliberately asked him कि I need a vehicle for southern part of the country. So he
Huh.
said कि बाबूजी मैं तो प्रोवाइड नहीं करता, आप एक काम करो, ये नंबर है, इस पे लिखो, इस पे कॉल कर लो, वो प्रोवाइड कर देंगे. एंड सडनली ही गिव मी द नंबर ऑफ माय कस्टमर केयर itself कि ये सुविधा वाले आपको दे देंगे ट्रक. So these
That's a
things
very
always
wonderful
give a
story.
lot of things. So
Wonderful
for
story,
feedback
issue.
sessions, I generally do, and for all corporate meetings and all. I love traveling. At least earlier before COVID, I was traveling 20 days in a month. So typically, so,
Good, good. And great man. Listen, and it'll be. I'm sure life is good. You're a hardworking gentleman. You're putting a lot of effort for the ecosystem and community. So all the very best once again, Ishu.
thank you,
Okay.
thank you, thank you,
Take care.
thank you everyone.
Enjoy
Thank you.
yourself. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, buddy.